Hey, welcome to Late Night with Larry. I'm here with my co-host Vince. Vince, give me a shout out.
Hey, welcome back to the Late Night with Larry D Studios. We will, as Larry mentioned, we're going to change the branding of the podcast, but we still will be here in the Larry D Studios.
That's right. Expect some rebranding coming your way, but we'll let you know where to get in touch with us. And on that note, for right now, hit that subscribe button and follow us. And if you've had a haunting, an encounter, a UFO sighting, anything you want to let us know that's of the paranormal or not.
Or cryptid, something, anything.
That's right.
Anything you can't explain that scared you.
That's right. You can get in touch with us at latenightwithlarry55@gmail.com.
Even if you walked in on your mother-in-law in the toilet and that scared you, we want to hear about it.
If it scared you, we want to know.
It would probably scare anybody, but
right. Anyway, so today, of course, we're going to stay on the topic of the Squatch. It's our favorite topic, as you all know, and
it's especially our favorite topic during the summer because that's when we get to go out. Now, we told you the last time we went out to our usual stomping grounds, our research area. Everything was closed, and that was because of the mud and snow.
That's right.
But I believe everything should be open.
That's
Hunting
right.
seasons are starting.
That's right. That's right. So we're approaching it while it is springtime. So we did go up there, as we told you last episode, and it was locked down. Or was it the episode after that?
Episode before.
Yeah. So the episode prior to last episode, we let you know that we're up there. It was locked down tight. And so I'm thinking it's time to make another journey to see if they're open. Yes. And I'm hoping so because, like you said, it is squatching time now,
right,
folks.
And actually, we were out and about earlier today. We're looking for new squatching equipment. We're always on the lookout to whether it be a tent, a camping trailer, a camera, something to help us get deeper into the forest and to stay longer.
That's right. And those are our intentions, because if you're not out there, how can you have an encounter?
Right. And we're still hoping, fingers crossed, meet up with a couple of big females.
There you go.
Patty,
Anyway,
like the Patty Duke show, her and her identical cousin.
Yeah. That's right. But anyway, before we get started, we're going to do our shout out to y'all. And
this is a special elixir.
Right.
This will make you strong as a bull.
Well, then, hell, let's chug a lug.
This is to you guys.
To you.
Thank you for being with us.
Peace. All right, here we go. So, as you know, we watch as many documentaries and programs that are focused on Sasquatch as we can. And, you wonder sometimes, is it all BS for TV or are these real? Well, I was recently listening to some encounters. I went back and I watched rewatched, I should say, a couple episodes of The Forest is Haunted. And in one of the episodes, there's a story of I guess he's the grandfather, and he takes his grandson fishing, and they have a close-up encounter with the Squatch. I don't know if you know the episode I'm talking about.
When they're fishing.
Right, they're fishing, and they start day one, they go fishing, and they get their rods in the water. And
is that where he's throwing things in the water?
Yeah, right. He throws these big rocks in the water, and at first they're like, what the hell? Who's out there playing? And long story short, the grandfather eventually ends up unloading a couple of rounds from a shotgun at it.
Right.
And
he tells the boy to run to the truck.
Right. And from him firing off a couple of shots, it seems like all it did was piss that Sasquatch off, because it wasn't a territorial charge then. It was actually after them.
Right. And he told the kid to run to the truck. And the kid said, I want to say his grandfather was ex-military, tough guy, mountain man.
Yeah, he was.
And he said that's the first time he's seen him scared.
Right.
And when it actually charged him, the kid got in the truck and started honking the horn, and that distracted the Sasquatch because the grandfather had fell on the ground. He was shooting and walking backward.
That's right.
So he fell. Then the kid got the Sasquatch's distracted him
with the horn.
with the horn. So the grandfather was able to get up and run toward the truck, but the Sasquatch was chasing him toward the truck. And then now how it unfolded, actually, I don't know. But as far as TV, it's classic. He gets in the truck. It won't start. It won't start. Here comes the Sasquatch, starts at the last minute, and he's gone.
And of course, you wonder, is that's just thrown in there for the drama effect for TV. But my point is on this is I wonder how many people at lakes fishing actually had an encounter like that and didn't come forward. Now, I've heard of encounters where they're at the lake and the Sasquatch is throwing rocks in and they just say, well, we're going to leave without ever having it bluff charge them or actually come after them.
Or even a sighting.
Right. So I thought about that and I said, I wonder if this happens more than people think. I don't know, but it was put in my mind as a thought. I'm like, wonder how many people go out, especially I know people that used to do called night fishing.
Right. We used to do that a lot.
Right. And I wonder if you're out night fishing and you have an encounter like that, and man, I'd probably freak out.
Right. Now, I think there are a lot more encounters than get reported, and there's probably a couple of reasons. One, the rock throwing, the noises, it scares off a lot of people right away, and they leave without seeing anything, so they don't exactly know what happened. And secondly, if they do have an encounter where they have a visual sighting, a lot of them don't want to come forward.
Yeah. I would definitely come forward. I don't care if people call me crazy or not. I would want other people to know, hey, this is what I saw in that area.
Right, right. And when I had my encounter, that's why now I don't discredit anybody's encounter. Who am I to call them a liar? I wasn't there.
That's my premise as well. I won't call you a liar because I wasn't there.
Now, I had a discussion with the gentleman yesterday. I was downtown, and we were talking about there was been a recent UFO video leaked or put out there. The government said it wasn't theirs. It supposedly came from a sailor aboard a destroyer. Now, our discussion was, how come the government acknowledges UFOs and people are more apt to believe that than Sasquatch? Because the government is very tight-lipped about it.
Right.
They don't say much. And people, when you come out with your stories, they want to label you as a crackpot or something right away.
Right.
Why is that?
That's I don't know what to say about that, but I just think there's certain things that the government wants to steer you toward.
Right.
Now, I don't know why they stay so tight-lipped, and we've all heard the stories that the government knows that Squatches are out there. I've seen flyers from Washington State for the Army when they go into the field, telling them these are the creatures you got to avoid and look out for.
Right.
So if they're publishing material like that, then they know they're out there. Why won't they come forward and say, these creatures are real, but when you go out to the forest, just if you encounter them, the best thing to do is just leave them be.
Right. Now we've talked about this before, and I debated this with that guy yesterday. Aliens, the existence of Bigfoot could rattle a lot of people. It could shake their foundations, and I think that the government, by acknowledging UFOs right now, it gives them more time to kind of blow off the Bigfoot thing.
Yeah, I mean that does make sense, but what don't you think that by acknowledging aliens, it's going to ruffle their feathers and shake their faith anyway?
The government hasn't actually officially acknowledged aliens. They'll just say these videos, whatever this craft you see in the sky isn't ours,
right?
As far as Americans.
And to me, that's kind of an acknowledgement, if you ask me.
Right. But another thing we're talking about was the government will say that's not one of our aircraft.
Right.
Now, are they saying it's one of our enemies, our allies in other countries, or is it of another world?
Of another world, right? So I don't know.
Now, this guy, he said, now he found it bizarre that there would be a sailor on the deck of a destroyer with a cell phone, but that's the new norm. I'm in these groups with military because I'm ex-military, and a lot of these people, they take cell phones on deployment. I don't think that's healthy because that gives away ships' movements and stuff.
Yeah, GPS, man.
Right. But
Yeah.
anyway, they do have them. You've seen, I know active members who are on social media all the time.
Right. No, and they carry their tablets with them as well because they email family. And well, I know the ships have Wi-Fi, so
Right.
I mean,
now, but he said he found it was strange that the government said it wasn't theirs, but this sailor was filming it. Now, I told him I would almost bet that maybe it was something they were working on because, and you could probably back me up on this, that if there's a strange craft flying around a U.S. ship, there's going to be something going on. They're going to scramble fighters. That destroyer is going to start shooting off its guns.
well, here's the first thing that you know that if it's not ours and it's within the proximity of, let's say, the no touch zone is what I would call it. The first thing they're going to do is all men, they're going to sound general quarters.
Right.
Everyone's going to get to their battle station.
And that dude wouldn't have been on the...
No, he wouldn't have been on the back filming that. And when they do, when there's an unidentified craft approaching a ship, they sound general quarters, and you know that's the norm.
Right.
So
If they weren't pursuing it or something, that leads me to believe it was ours.
right, and it depends. Well, if it was far off, they wouldn't sound general quarters. They'd monitor it, but it'd have to be further off than his eyes could see.
Right. But the thing is, I saw the video. It seemed relatively close if you could get a good shot with the cell phone. And the destroyer's not going to be out there alone. They're part of a battle group.
Yeah, destroyers don't go out.
So
alone.
there's going to be several ships spread over several miles.
Right,
So that's a big no-touch zone.
right.
No touch.
No touchy.
And yeah, and he brought up the thing. Well, do you remember the Tic Tac video?
Right.
He said, "Well, how come they didn't fire on that?" I said, "Because that was in open waters.
Right.
It was not above one of our
Right.
our bigger ships.
Right.
Or it posed no threat to us. It would just fly next to our jets."
Right, and because it's in international waters, they can't just lock on and say we're going to shoot it down.
Right.
They can lock on and monitor it and follow it, but you see what happened when they did lock on it. It took off,
Right.
blew them away.
Well, I have friends that they monitor these news channels, and they're real concerned, especially around the Alaska area, because there's always a game of cat and mouse with our aircraft and the Russians.
Right,
And that's why we don't shoot them out of the water, because it's international water.
right.
And I mean, they were surprised, but I told them, you know what, it's been happening since I was in the military, and it's
Since you and me both were,
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess we kind of went off topic. So I guess the topic today is aliens.
right.
rather
No,
than Squatch,
it
but-
was a Squatch, but it just brought up the question: why doesn't the government acknowledge Sasquatch?
I mean, and that's a good point. That's a damn good point.
And I posed the question to him, and he didn't have an answer for me, because Sasquatch and aliens always seem to, their stories kind of intertwine. They see orbs or alien ships, and when they have Sasquatch sightings,
they do it.
sometimes, not always.
Well, and then you get the people out there that tie them together, say that Squatches are extraterrestrial, that anytime you see a UFO shortly after, you'll have a Squatch sighting, or vice versa. Had a Squatch sighting, now I have a UFO sighting. Is it true? I don't believe so. I truly believe Squatches are flesh and blood. Like I said on our last podcast, I watched a documentary and they tied the whoop sound to a baboon
Right.
on the spectrogram. It was identical. So that lets you know that these creatures are definitely primate.
Right.
They are definitely primate. And
But I posed the question to him that you and I have talked about. I mentioned to you, what if, our astronauts need a bodysuit or some kind of suit to leave our atmosphere? What if the aliens come here and that's like a suit for them, but it's more geared to get around the terrain better?
right. And
Because look at us, we go to the moon,
Right.
But if you could get something that's geared to the terrain, something that could just breeze through the forest like nothing.
It makes sense to me. Now that's. I did you recently hear SpaceX launched
Some more satellites.
well, not only the Starlink. Before the Starlink, they sent up one of the rockets to meet the International Space Station.
No, I didn't hear.
Well, and they had astronauts on this one. I think it's the Falcon, one of their Falcon ships, I think. Anyway, as the astronauts were going up, they all had to like buckle in and man their gear because they had a close encounter with something that could have hit the ship, but was by the ship, but didn't. And they're saying, what was it? It was as they call them today, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, and it came, and it came close to the ship, so that's why they had to don their gear, and I thought, wow, that's ballsy to tell the American people in the world that we had a close encounter.
But we should be able to know.
We should. I agree.
Right. But I mean, you're going to man your gear. What's that going to do to some craft or some beings that could bend time and space?
To me, it was senseless because I'm like, and what are you going to do if going that fast, you and another craft collide? You're done.
Especially out there.
Right. Regardless of what you do.
But, you know, on the other hand, if you were to get lucky, take a few pop shots, because there have been crashes. We know that they have vulnerabilities.
They do. Or we would never have. Just here in New Mexico, there's two popular reported crash sites, Aztec and not Los Alamos.
No,
not Los Alamos.
Roswell.
Roswell.
How can you forget that?
I live in New Mexico. Well, my mind's on the Jemez Mountains, so Los Alamos is by it.
We're here in the studio, but our minds are in the mountains, where we should be.
Right.
And that's our motherland, so it calls to us.
I'm itching to get out there.
Now, we talked about Dulce too, because there's a lot of alien stuff there, but there's also a lot of Bigfoot encounters.
Right.
Now, what Indian tribe is over there, or Native American?
They're Apache. They're the Hickory Apaches.
Okay. And now I couldn't remember what I was telling him about it, because my son is in a bowling league, and he met this gentleman from that tribe. He was down here bowling, and out of the blue, he tells my son, "Do you believe in Bigfoot?" And he pulled out his phone and started showing him prints and stuff like that. And I mean, just, you know, he said there's a lot going on up there.
There is.
And I tried to get my son, I said, when you see him again, give him my number, put me in touch with him.
No, there's the Hickory Apaches. For one, they don't want outsiders on their reservation land without an escort. They just don't want you wandering.
Right.
But there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings up there.
Right. Just like you wouldn't want anyone walking through your backyard.
Right. No, and I get it.
I get it too. Yeah. You know, and if you're respectful to them, you'd be surprised how much they'll help you out.
Right. I mean, they probably would take you to, especially if you meet some and they say, yeah, I have had a personal sighting. They'll probably take you right to where they've had their sighting.
Right.
And
that's what we got to get into next.
Right. Now, I used to go up to the Hickory tribe a lot and do work in that area. And I could tell you at night, there's not many lights because it's not a big city.
Right.
It's not even a big town. It's a little community with the tribe. And it gets dark, really dark. So I could see a lot of Squatch sightings. And when I was now, not to get off subject, but when I was up there, they told us a story about something called the goat man that people were seeing up there. And it was half man, half goat. Like, what was the little on Hercules, the cartoon Hercules when we were growing up? What was a centaur? Is that what it's called? Or half man, half goat? He
I don't know what the
flute.
goat. Yeah, I don't know what the goat was.
Anyway, they're saying it's that type of creature, and some people have seen it, and This was Hickory Apache tribal members telling me the story. They're like, "No, bro, people have seen the goat man up here."
Now, a minotaur is half like bull.
That's the bull. Yes.
Okay, now I don't know which one it is, but in the north side of Gallup, past Sky City, there's been sightings. I've talked to an eyewitness who claims they've seen one, and I don't know if it's a centaur or a minotaur. I can't remember, but up there in the hills behind Sky City.
A man body with a bull head.
No.
A bull body with a man head.
Yes. And we have a cousin who was in the Marine Corps stationed at, was he at 29 Palms?
29 Palms.
And then, what is it, Joshua Tree?
Yep.
State Park?
Yep.
They claim they're back there. And there's a lot of strange claims about Joshua Tree. And we'll get to those at another time, though.
Well, yeah, and if you know, Joshua Tree is a big party spot for the hippies, so you know.
Right, but there's a lot of Marines out there who claim they've seen something other than hippies.
And not only hippies, they've seen that, and there's a lot of UFO activity out there.
Right now, there's only a couple of other places where those Joshua trees grow on Earth, right?
I do believe so. Yeah.
But anyway, back to Bigfoot.
Back to Bigfoot.
Right,
The topic.
we can't neglect our idol.
No, and I don't know, maybe we're obsessed with it, but I'm obsessed with the Sasquatch topic just because of my brother's encounter.
Right. We've always been intrigued and we've always wanted to believe, but when I had my encounter, that just pushed me it pushed me down a rabbit hole I can't seem to climb out of.
And it seems like I'm following him down that road.
Right, and I don't want to. I keep digging deeper because I know what I saw.
Right.
But I just want to, I can't say I want to experience it again because we've had some strange experiences.
We have.
I believe we've smelled them when they got close enough we could smell them.
Yeah, the one time we that wet dog smell, we were like, and it was faint, but the wind carried it, and like that smells like a wet dog.
Yeah.
But you're right. We have had our experiences and our encounters out there, but I haven't had one like you.
No, but hopefully we will. And I think the more we go out there, the more they're getting used to us.
Right. And if we do have one that scares me, like it frightened him, that'll probably be my last time out there.
And I'll tell you, no bullshit. You made me go back. Now you're going back.
Right. I guess what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
So I guess what we're saying is we'll be doing this for the rest of our days. And if we make it to the retirement age, we'll probably be doing it full time.
That's right. If we retire, my check's coming in. Let's head to the mountains and stay there for a month at a time.
Yeah, we'll just live out there. We'll build a little shack.
Right.
It'll be I don't know if it's Bruce Springsteen or somebody sang a song. I went out. I have a wife and kids in Baltimore. Jack went out for a ride and never came back. Your wife will be wondering, where is he? I haven't seen him in 2 years.
She won't care as long as the retirement
Her half gets here.
As long as my pension hits the account, she won't care.
Right. She'll say, he might be dead, but I'm not reporting it.
Right. She'll be like, maybe a Squatch got him, but the checks are still coming. No, I do. Like we were out looking at some, like he was saying earlier, some equipment. I want to stay out there for like a week.
At least. Because,
you know, on the weekend, everyone goes out and they camp, and there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of distraction.
No.
When we've been out there by ourselves where we go and no one around, that seems like that's when the most activity happens.
Right. I think when there's a lot of people, they kind of avoid the area. But like when we're the only ones out there, they're kind of like, these idiots are here again.
That's
Let's
what they
go see
think.
what they're doing.
They're like, why do they keep coming back?
And why do they eat so much?
Those two questions they're asking themselves.
And what is that stuff they keep drinking?
Right? They're like, they just drink a lot of it, and they drink it all day. But I'm looking forward to getting back to the Hamas and getting it going. And let me bring this to your attention. So I have a neighbor that he swears, and I believe him, he's had many UFO sightings, and he's had people with him when he's had these sightings. Now he says he's afraid to tell people because they're going to think he's nuts. And he has told people, and you're right, they think he's nuts. But he told me like 3 or 4 of his encounters. One of them was when he was hunting, and down in the ravine, there was this craft just down there. And when he said he's been no more than like 100 yards away from it. And he said it was a craft. You couldn't see no rivets, nothing, spear, just solid. And it just stood there. And they're the ones that left. It didn't leave, they left. And he's seen one on the side of a mountain. They're defying gravity and doing their thing. But here's what I'm getting at. He's had those experiences, and he's camped up in the Jemez all his life. His grandfather used to own a cabin up there, but he never heard about Squatches up there. Never thought they were up there until I told him about my brother's experience, and he said, "No way! I've camped up there all my life. No way." Come to find out, he's talked to some of his other friends that have been up there and have hunted the area, and they told him, "Yeah, there's many sightings of those creatures up there." So he told me he's not going to go up there camping anymore.
Right. And, the locals know about it because, pre-COVID, they used to have a Sasquatch Day. They even started a Sasquatch Festival.
Right.
It didn't get very far. It had a good turnout when we went.
That was the first annual.
That was the first one. But then COVID it turned everything upside down.
It killed it. And I would have loved to see the Jemez Springs little community continue that. I think that would have got so much bigger.
Right. And,
I think it would.
And if you guys ever go up there, stop in Jemez Springs, man, it's a beautiful little community.
It is.
It's actually the kind of place where you'd want to retire.
Try it. And if you like hippie chicks, that's your place, bro. Anyway, yes, check it out. It's a good little community. And then once you pass that, you're coming into the mountains where we go.
Then you're coming into Squatch
territory. And they're up there. They are. We know they are. Other people know they are. It's no secret.
Right. We've never actually got to talk to many locals.
No, but I would like to. I would too. Talk to some of them people that actually live in the Jemez Springs. Now, when we went up there to see if the roads were open where we go, they were not. But we did go into some of the communities there, and we saw some of the biggest houses in the woods that
I've ever seen.
I'm like, wait a minute, there must be people that are wealthy that live up in that area, because some of these houses were not small, and they had their private drives. We couldn't get past because the drive's private. It was locked. And
right. And we're talking about moving up there in the tough shed.
Now, I would like to ask some of these people if they've had any experiences, because they have these beautiful big houses out there, and they throw their trash in their little
their pets run around.
The receptacles, they have their pets. I would like to stop and, without getting a rifle put in my face saying because I'm trespassing, ask them a question and say, can you just be truthful with me? And have you ever had any strange things occur out
right
there?
Now we've asked forest rangers before, and it's funny because when you ask them, they pause. And they think about what they're going to say.
But the one we asked, he didn't even want to acknowledge it.
Right. He said, well, we've had encounters on the other side of the mountain, which is the Cuba side.
Right.
And then didn't your son ask one at the lake?
Yes. And he just shut down after that.
Right.
He just didn't want to talk to us.
Right. So, it's strange. But to be out there full time is our goal. I mean, it would be awesome to have a habituation area where we could interact, and, because you hear all these stories where people live in harmony with them, and that would be cool.
Well,
and
I think
we have no ill intent.
No.
We just want to know more.
I'm not looking to shoot one. I'm not looking to kill one and bring the body back like some people. You get some people to say I'm out there because for people to believe you got to produce a body. I'm like, I don't think that that's right, that you should kill something just so someone could believe in it.
Right.
I'm like, what gives you the right to take any creature's life? Just as I'm opposed to big game hunting, elephants and all that. You don't eat
endangered species.
You don't eat that meat. If you're going to kill it, You need to eat the meat.
Right. And even if you eat the meat, if it's an endangered species, don't do it, man.
Well, I hate to say it then. I've tried to kill a lot of females because
Those are water buffaloes. Though.
Oh, okay, all right, because I do eat.
Yeah,
the
but
meat.
no, nothing bugs me more than these people who go kill elephants and lions.
No, it is to me. I'm like, that's just an ego trip.
And like here, the hunters, I'm down with it because they harvest the meat. They don't waste nothing, and everything's controlled by
The state,
by the state. You know, so
Right.
Our man, if you drive around New Mexico, we have a crap load of deer, elk, all kinds of wildlife.
and we have a crap load of hunters.
Right.
That's one thing
We
do
have
hunt.
a crap load of hunters, but that don't mean they get to hunt every year.
That's right. That's because they're selective.
It's a lottery system,
It's the draw.
right?
But I still do. They share the meat with us, so that's why I like it.
Yep. And if they don't, we'll go steal it.
Try it.
When they're making jerky, we'll wait till it's just about done.
That's right. But like we said, if you've had an encounter or you want to talk Squatch with us intimately on the phone,
Or even if you don't want to be on our podcast and you're willing to let us share your story.
right. And this little nidbit is for Mr. Smith. I need to send you an email because you do want to come on, and I've just been lacking, and I'm sorry.
Is that Dr. Smith, Lost in Space?
That is Dr. Smith.
Okay, Dr. Smith, we're gonna have you. My brother told me about you. I keep bugging my brother. I asked him, "Have you contacted him? Let's talk to him."
And I haven't, and I said I need to. I told you I was going to email you, so I am. I'm going to shoot you an email, and you just tell me when's going to be best for you.
Right. We'll work with your schedule.
We want you on.
Yep. Like the Kiss song, "I Want You."
That's right. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed what we brought to you today. I know we rambled a little bit, but that's what podcasts are all about.
That's who we do.
That's right. So thanks for listening. And you know how to get in touch with us. And just be good to people because today's world is so crazy.
Yeah, we got enough BS going on. Be good to one another. And everybody's going through something you don't know about. So just be kind.
Right.
It don't. A couple of kind words could change somebody's whole day.
And if you're feeling frustrated with society in general, head to the mountains.
There you go. It's called a disconnect.
That's right.
You'd be surprised how that'll change you.
You'll come back and nothing will bother you for a while.
Yeah, and then you'll be ready to go back to disconnect.
That's right. Anyway, thanks for listening. We
Peace out.
appreciate you. Peace.